Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Hi! You have found yourself within listening or viewing range of the Dave and Juan More Time podcast. If you ended up here by accident, you are living right, my friends. If you plan to be here, well, what can I say? You made it, champ. Enjoy the fruits of your decision. I'm not calling these guys fruits, but they are kind of nuts. Enjoy, America. And you're welcome. This is Dave and Juan.
And 3.
Number 2.
1.
Woohoo!
America. As always, you are welcome. You're absolutely welcome. What are they welcome for?
Yay, just for us being here, man.
Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Thank you. Time stamping this puppy. It's a Sunday evening. A little bit later on in the weekend than we normally do these things. We have to line up our schedules.
Right, you know.
I'm just back from mass from Sunday evening mass. Solo this time. My wife's a little under the weather.
Oh.
Yeah. She was in Louisiana this past week and came back, and it's kind of one of those things. And one of the people that was in the car with her was sick. And you sort of like, yeah, you 3.
So it wasn't that she was partying or anything.
No. She didn't get, to my knowledge, unless, her and her mom and her sister were cutting up on Bourbon Street. I don't think that's what happened, but
Nah.
so she's under the weather, but without COVID, because now we have to test for that. Talking to the doctor, she did a.
Oh, they made you test?
Well, what happened is she was feeling. She was all, you can tell she's sick. She thought she had like a sinus infection or something.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of hooked on. I've not used it yet, but I think next time I need something, I will. So my wife has started using these teledoc services. These
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have that. That's cool.
you kind of talk to the person, and I
Yeah.
mean, shy of taking like a blood test if it's just give your symptoms, that kind of stuff. So the doctor prescribed her a minor antibiotic, but then said, go ahead and test for COVID. If it's COVID, we'll prescribe you something else. And I was asking her, like, okay, I'm kind of done with, like, what are they
Yeah.
what are they going to do different? And she said, well, they probably give him some kind of antiviral whatever. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't they do that anyway?
Right. That's the on the news this week. They're saying, now that school has started back, COVID cases are on the rise. And I said, you know what?
Man.
So's cases of the cold. You throw all these kids in the same room together, somebody's going to get somebody else sick.
And they're going to try to squeeze to the point where I went to the pharmacy, the Walgreens down the street here, with my list of stuff she wanted, and man, the world we're living in, the fact that you can't buy Claritin D without having to talk to someone and show your ID.
Yeah.
Y'all, again, warning, old cranky man alert.
Well, speaking of, so my daughter, I guess this was last week or the week before school started or whatever. She went to Target and picked up some things, and she had been coughing, so she was picking up some cough syrup, and I think it was Claritin. And they wouldn't sell it to her, but she had seen a friend of ours' mother in the store,
Oh, good for her.
so she called her. Lady
Good for her.
came, showed her ID. My daughter bought it. And
That's a
walked away.
problem solver there. That's a good,
Yeah.
good on your daughter. I promise you, either of my sons would have come home and told me, yeah, I saw Mr. So-and-so there. I said, like, good for you, good for your daughter. She should have pulled up some kind of clip on the phone and say, hey, I am literally a collegiate, soon to be collegiate swimmer. I am not going home and cooking up any meth with this.
But the whole thing, like you said, you've got to check the ID, but this other person's gonna show me their ID, and she's gonna walk. The underage one's gonna walk out of the store with it.
Well, so I go to the store, I do that and pick up the other things. My wife's kind of funny, her sick. We had to get a new thermometer. We've probably got 4 thermometers in this house. We don't trust any of them because you take different things and they all come a little different. So we're always buying a new thermometer. So I had to buy a new thermometer, some orange juice, chocolate. You can tell we really, right?
We have multiple thermometers in our house. 2 of the kind you stick under your tongue.
Yeah.
We know that one of them is not accurate, but we don't know which one it is. So we keep them both. And then we also have the kind that you swipe across your forehead.
I don't trust those. And I know
But none of us can ever remember how to use that one.
Right. We have the Temple thing. Yes, we've got the more expensive kind of, I don't know. Those were good when the kids were young, when you had to try to wrestle with them to try to keep, something under their their tongue. But so she's I even had to ask the young pharmacy tech at the thing, said, dude, you still have those I think I said it, you still have those freaking COVID tests? He's like, I think we might. Like I think down there, and they had hit you for another $22 or whatever it was. I don't know. They're going to squeeze as much as they can out of this. Anyway, where I was going with this. So I'm at church by myself. So I didn't sit where I normally sit down with my wife down near the front with the teen group and blah, blah, blah. So I got there relatively early. I sat way in the back of church because I figured, when it's over, there's nobody to talk to and then hanging out with my wife. I'm just going to be able to just jump and be here on time.
Right. Your priorities, man.
Exactly. If I'd have seen the priest on the way out and he just said, "Hey, you cutting out early, David?" No,
got a podcast, bro.
America's waiting, Father. I gotta go. So I'm sitting in the back of the church, and I got there early, so I sit on the aisle. I'm going to take advantage of, and then people fill in, and then I'm reminded that there's a different level of parishioner, a different level of churchgoer that comes in and stands in the back of the. There's some animals back there, man. I mean, I shouldn't say animals.
Look, if somebody likes to stand up for an hour in church, they don't want to be in church.
I don't know that they want to stand, but hey, I got to be honest. When I show up and church is packed, I don't mind standing. I'm a stander. I'm okay with that. But so I end up sitting next to, and I'm on the aisle, but I let them in, and this young couple. Now, when I say young, I'm not talking 2021. They were probably late 20s. Maybe early 30s, nice enough. Two young kids. The little boy they had was, dude, I don't know. I'm terrible at age. He was anywhere from maybe 2 to say 17. I don't know. He was okay.
He's underage in some capacity.
I'm guessing the kid might have been around 3 or something. And I'm in church. I'm supposed to be
holy, thanking of the Lord.
Yeah. And all I can think, and the kid obviously he didn't, because the first thing when a kid is being very annoying and very, whatever. So my first thing is, okay, is the kid special? Like, let me, I do the quick evaluation of, maybe there's a reason. And I'm totally cool with, hey, but no. And then after about 15 minutes into mass, I want to just lean over and say, does he have anything wrong with him except your parenting? Cause I got at least 45 minutes left for the rest of this mass. And since I'm sitting here, I can be of assistance. Not doing anything.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll see what I can do.
Man, listen, I'm not being mean or not being, I would just like, hey, you got to pull that back. I don't know what this kid is like in the car or at your house, but you're in public, and the little Bjork has bumped into me 4 or 5 times already. He's already beyond the too accidental.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're not even noticing that this kid keeps he wasn't like he was literally not. I don't think the kid was intending to do anything. He's just
squirming around and hitting you.
And third time, fourth time, fifth time, I gotta look over to the parents like, hey, we got something happening here, like. But anyway, so Just put my head down
That's
once.
what I
And
meant. You're being petty in church. I was the same. So I ran camera in church today, and my church, they do once every couple of months or so. They do. It's like, blessing of families, people with new babies. It's, it's not baptism, but they just bring them up and kind of welcome them to the church community as a whole. So this service, there was a ton of them. And so I'm sitting kind of elevated on my camera stand. And then there's a guy standing, I think, holding his grandchild behind the seats, which for some reason was irking me to no end, because that's the path that one of the other cameras path or goes back and forth in. The other camera was, well equipped to get around him and do whatever. So after about 5 minutes, I just got on my headset and I started buzzing people in the back. I said, "Hey, it's a guy standing up here in the way of camera one. Somebody needs to come tell him to move." And then you sit down and say, "Hey, man, I've been here for like 6 hours. I ought to be feeling a little better and not bothered by such a thing that has zero impact on my
you know
life."
what's scary, Juan? You're paying closer attention than Secret Service does at an outdoor.
Yeah, well,
The more that comes out, y'all. So I forget. Was it a month now? Was it 3 weeks? A month? How long?
more than a month. I think early July. Nah, well,
Okay.
yeah, it's probably 5-6 weeks.
Okay. Which apparently has still been bunny holed, man. It's like we don't talk about the fact that, and the more stuff that comes out about the assassination attempt, y'all, it don't look good.
Well, I saw some of that video the other day that people are just scrambling around. I was like, "Hey, all right, is he up there?"
They got footage of the guy. You can see he's carrying a gun. He's got the gun up against him. They got footage of this guy from a top. He's texting with somebody who's getting some kind of information. Hey, you know what's interesting? That dude, the shooter, right? I'm saying singular, right? The shooter. They cremated that guy like 3 days later.
Within like a day.
That's not fishy at all.
No,
At all.
that's
right?
how it happens when they're on all the TV shows when they're trying to cover up a crime.
They
Get rid of the body.
just whoop, man. We don't want to know. And then the other thing
But
was now.
importantly about that, I don't know if you saw this, but the former Secret Service director who was heading up this stuff, some people have been kind of hassling her and saying mean things to her. So she's got a security detail now.
Well, I hope her security detail was as good as the one that.
Yeah, maybe they can give her some of the ones from Trump's.
Can you believe that? Can you believe who? Nobody's messing with her, man. What? But look, they're trying to set. Look, they're setting stuff up to make it look like. But yeah, it's amazing. We're just on to the next thing. But
yeah,
and then footage is coming out more and more now. The local cops. And the local cops are ticked off.
Don't blame it on us.
You can hear them like running around talking about, I told them to put like the local cops couldn't believe how incompetent and, blowing off things that Secret Service was. But Juan, it's a good thing at least that I don't think anybody can even get their head around how this country would have changed. It's already changed. But how close we came. But at least now they got the A-team out there guarding Trump, right? Did you hear or see what happened in North Carolina this past week?
No.
Dude, I'm not making this up. This is a Saturday Night Live skit, and so help me y'all. So Trump's got an event in, I don't know if it was Raleigh or Charlotte, but he's got a speech, right? Secret Service out there. As the event starting or before the event, I forget what happened. They're having to do a check. One of the top Secret Service people on site has to going around checking on the various posts where people are. One of the Secret Service left her post to breastfeed her baby.
Well, apparently they don't have breast pumps up there.
She also apparently had family members there with her.
Yeah, why was the baby there?
She was in some room that's supposed to be used for something else. So policy is you can't have a kid. You can't, obviously you can't bring a kid.
Why? Yeah,
you can't have.
It's a dangerous gig.
You can't have family members there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure soldiers don't get to bring their babies out to the battlefield.
Y'all, a Secret Service agent assigned to a post.
And this was during the event,
Yes.
or just as it was.
If it was either, it was
like go time, basically.
It was go time. It was yes. You want to make sure that this area is secure. She was breastfeeding her baby.
Nice.
So that's where we are, y'all. So that's
apparently Secret Service still has its priorities in check.
And I read somewhere or saw the picture that they're saying that from now on Trump's outdoor events, they want protective glass. They want them talking behind
bulletproof glass,
which is BS, man. If I'm him, I'm saying, no,
right.
I'm not doing that. How about y'all do your job? How about y'all do your job? How about that? How about, but it's
the mentality.
But yeah. And,
well, he'd have to be in a dome.
How's that?
If you think about it, somebody can get a higher vantage point than the shield.
Oh, I don't, man. Or how about you just do it the way it's supposed to be done? Everybody screen. There's a reason to have what they call the perimeter, and there's a reason,
Well, apparently, to get into one of Vice President Harris's event last week, you had to show an ID.
Oh, the DNC is having their man. Juan, I got to tell you, I honestly think I'm going to watch a lot of that. I'm going to watch a lot. I'm going to try. I don't have a problem. I'm going to try to watch this show this week.
I don't know that I can.
Oh, I will be very, you watch it's, I don't know, but
and I was thinking about that today, the debates, and all I can anticipate is that cackling laugh.
They got Biden speaking day one. Now, to give you an idea, he's the president of the United States. Well, in title, he's the president of the United States. The president speaks last evening. That's just how it works. At a minimum, it should be him speaking last evening, and then I guess bringing out. No, he's speaking first.
Well, it's going to be early. He'll get to go to bed, then head.
Bill's going to talk. They're bringing back Bill.
I saw Michelle speak in one night, Michelle Obama. I'm sure Barack's going to speak at some point as well. I don't know. Barack may not like to put his.
No, he's on there. He's on there. He's on the. But yeah, they have built a freaking perimeter wall around the place, and you need ID. It's also it's bizarro world. But I read this where I jotted this down here. Who is it? DNC. So I pull it. This is bizarro world. There are 270 different organizations set to march on Chicago this week.
I saw that.
Okay. So, what a fun place to be this week. Okay. And what I can't understand. So than normal. Yeah. And so DNC, the Democratic National Convention, has told attendees, and most of these attendees are, they're various delegates from around the country.
Delegates who were elected to vote for Joe Biden.
They've recommended that these people travel anonymously.
Yeah, no red, white, and blue for you.
Now, when I read that, they want you to, first of all, how do you travel?
Right.
Now, you can come into the country anonymously. That's 100%. You can just march your butt right across the border anonymously. That's okay. I don't know. How do you get on a plane anonymously? How do you, I guess they don't want them putting stuff on social media.
Wear your buttons, I guess, whatever, stupid hats.
But here's what I can't understand, Juan. Of the 270 organizations set to march, I'll bet you not 10 of them are, like Right to Life or conservative clubs.
No.
And if you see anything, I promise you, if you see anybody there that looks like Proud Boys or flags or whatever, and they're always going to be wearing masks, that's how you know, okay, that's FBI. That's That's
Put it this way, my guess is that there's 270, 265 of the group's members probably all typically vote yeah, for the Democratic Party.
what I don't understand. What are they protesting? You
You know.
you know what I'm saying? That's your team. That's your team.
Yeah.
What are you? You know, it's like when you go, even if the Saints are having a bad season, you don't show up at the Superdome,
Right.
screaming death to the Saints. You know,
Well, you
I
know,
mean, maybe
or
the
if the
Dennis
Saints are in
Allen.
this, well, this is basically the Super Bowl. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
be mad that that Carr is still the quarterback, and if they make it to the playoffs, I'm not going to show up and boo Carr.
And by the way, I'm not saying death to Dennis Allen. I'm just saying
But
that.
yeah, Dennis Allen apparently had a press conference this week, and he referred to something as a metaphor, but then didn't know what a metaphor was. So he asked people in the crowd what it
I
was.
actually saw that, and that was kind of funny. It's
Yeah,
sort of like, because I'll do that. I'll say it.
we do it here all the time.
Yeah, we record it and put it out to the world. You say it and you go, I think that's what I meant to say, but
Yeah, well, yeah. And to be honest, I know what a metaphor is. I'm not sure how to explain it though.
and if
So
it's not, it's not. But so yeah, that'll be. I'll try to catch a little bit of that. But
it'll be a meme heavy week though, because everybody on social media is going to be trying to change our minds with all these great memes that we see.
well, did you see? And again, we'll talk about some non-political stuff. But it's the season. It's the season, and it's every. I don't know. I guess I'm on the algorithms and stuff, and I'm just I get the things. So apparently, Vice President Harris and the Minnesota dude, that's an interesting bird. Whew. They were in Pennsylvania today, and they're doing whatever. And we were reminded, because I must have seen 17 different tweets and people posting stuff. They gave her a mic and she was off script today
Oh wow.
for a little while. Man, get out the vinaigrette, bro. That word salad was interesting. I mean, you're listening to it and you're thinking, I am working way too hard to follow what she's saying, and then she'll say a couple words that I, I don't know that those words were totally not.
Well, let's play a game with
She's
this.
big on stuff like dichotomy. She's big on those kind of words.
Right. But let's put this into real life perspective. President of the United States meets with foreign leaders from around the world who don't speak English and rely on translators. That gig's gonna be that's gonna be a lot more tough job if she wins. Imagine translating that word salad.
Oh, dude. Well, let's be honest. You think Biden's translators got it any better?
Yeah, good point.
Of course,
Good
he's
point.
not talking to anybody, so that doesn't matter.
Just tell somebody else is telling the translators what to say.
And it makes you wonder what they do with Trump too. Trump, translator be saying like he just insulted you. Is what happened. Here's the other thing, and I've seen this before. Okay, I've seen this. I've heard rumors or seen stuff before, and look, they go after both sides. They try to say like Trump did a conversation with Elon Musk the other day. Was that before or after? Did we touch on that last time?
We didn't talk about it last time. So
okay. So he spoke for like 2 hours or so with the, and I kind of wish they'd have been in the same place. But Trump was sitting at Mar-a-Lago, and
yeah.
Elon Musk was up in Wyoming somewhere at a friend's ranch. I gotta love the richest guy in the world. I don't even think he owns a house anymore. He just stays at friends.
Well, I saw an old clip from him the other day. Said for years he just kind of couch surfed.
Yeah. You know what? If you're the richest guy in the world, people let you stay with them. And you have friends.
Buy him dinner.
You have friends with nice stuff. But they went crazy talking about Trump sounded like he was slurring. They said he sounded like he was slurring. And people after the fact had to go back and show that, it was compression of the mic.
Right.
And he was kind of talking down. So anyway, but man, they couldn't wait to make it sound like, I think even my wife, I had it on a little bit. And my wife said, it sounds like he had dental work or something. It sounds like and I'm like, it wasn't bothering me. So,
right. But from what I saw, I saw pictures of it. It basically looked like he just had an iPhone on the desk.
He did. Can you believe this is like the ultimate baller move, right? You're going to be talking to Elon Musk in what will no doubt be the biggest
Right.
live whatever they do, right? And he's not sitting in a studio. He's not doing whatever. Dude just got a cell phone sitting.
Right. He's relying on AT&T.
He doesn't even have one of these. Like I got,
It's just like I said, it looked like it was just
I
on
got
the
a
desk.
desk phone holder right here that I can put my phone in, right? And it'll kind of hold it up and I can do stuff like, I mean, I got, this is like 20 something bucks. He ain't even got that. He just got the phone laying on the table in front of him, leaning over.
Yeah. Not like, you see people in the grocery store, they at least talking into the mic while they're walking. If they're, his is
I,
flat out.
I give more, I have more mic awareness talking to my mom every night with my phone than Trump did with that. But okay, fine. Did it for what it's worth, but it also goes to show you, dude was engaged in talking for 2+ hours. Okay. Here's something I'd seen before, and it's one of those things. There's certain people you can talk about, certain people you can't, but I mean, it's kind of bubbled up and let's be honest. So Vice President Harris has something like 90 or 95% turnover in her staff. So apparently it's not a warm and fuzzy place, and you got
Right.
people bailing. Well, you know what? People that leave, they talk about some of the things. And there's been rumors for a while that, let's just say, she enjoys partaking of an adult beverage or 2 or 10.
That would explain some things.
Well, what's been coming up, they've been showing clips. And one that came up recently, like this past week, and the guy was saying, I have shared this with multiple law enforcement people who say, oh no, she's drunk. Like these folks are saying like at a minimum, she would be tested. Like basically what they were saying, like at a minimum, and they were even describing it, what happens. And don't get me wrong, man. Look, I'm not talking about it, just, and but my thing is, had that been anyone,
Oh, Lord.
right? You imagine,
Trump sniffs, he's snorting coke.
was that?
I said, if Trump sniffs while he's talking, he's snorting coke.
So, yeah, it's going to be, I don't think we're going to see. Oh, that's the other thing. So the big, you knew that was going to answer, right? The big economic policy speech was this past
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And here's all you need to know about how well it went. As soon as the speech was over, in fact, while it was happening, there's a betting thing, right? There's some people that just totally bet, because you can bet on the presidential race in other countries. You can't do, I don't think you can do it here. I don't think. But anyway, you can bet on, and her odds dropped 10% by the time the speech was over. Because, and I read somebody made a funny line. It says, if your opponent is calling you a communist, you might not want to open up your economic policy speech talking about price controls.
Price control. And again, price gouging is already against the law.
She called it gauging.
Yeah. But this is what ticks me off about that whole thing. This is, I've worked in businesses. I've worked in business. Yeah, I've owned business. I've worked for a retailer or a wholesaler. And the way that works for the most part is your profit margin. It's pretty close to fixed. So when prices increase, it doesn't mean profit increases, because it likely means your expenses increase by an equal portion. So to sit here and say that they're just charging more to make more is the boldest face. Yeah, it's like, Jesus, economics 101.
Well, it's for the financially illiterate. No, get me wrong. I consider, look, and I got a degree in accounting. I got an MBA. I've been working around the banking industry for about 30 years. And I'm financially illiterate in some things. I am. And a lot of it is because people make things too complicated. I get to run in certain circles where, dude, I told you this one before. I mean, I have I have sat down, I've propped my feet up, drinking some beer, discussing stuff with actual economists. I mean, like written books, economists, like teaching. And I don't know if I'm holding my own, but I know what I know. And I always get on folks for overcomplicating things. And what's happening now is it's all a lie. All the numbers they give you are a lie.
Yeah.
It's total 100%. Every month they come out and give you job numbers. These were the new jobs created. Oh, look how great. And every
Yeah.
freaking
6 weeks
month
later, they're changing them.
they go back and they revise down. And at some point, right, people have to say, okay, wait a minute. Why would I believe you now? You've
Yeah.
lied for however long, years, and I'm going to believe that now, or saying, well, I don't think we're going to have a recession. What are you talking about gonna
Right.
have?
People get mad at the weatherman, which has no bearing on your income unless you work
Right.
in farming. But they can lie about the economy, which directly affects your bottom line
And
every day.
yeah, price controls in the history of man do not work. They do not. It is, and what happens is, and look, I'm not saying, I say both sides. This happens, and I blame Republicans every bit as much, because most of them in DC are trash,
Yeah.
because they're all compromised. They're all bought out.
Well, let's who can we blame? Who can
But
we
what
blame?
happens is, exactly, it's government policies create these issues, create uh, they cause harm.
Right.
But then what's a politician going to do when it comes time to fess up, when reality catches up and you can't hide anymore that things are bad? You look for somebody to blame. You look, and historically it goes, depending on the like social policies, the folks in power want you fighting with they want tension. They want you fighting over
Right.
sex.
It's look over there.
They
Yeah,
they
bottom line,
want
you
you.
fix prices. If you fix the top end, then you're also going to fix the bottom end, which means
You can't.
nobody's getting hired. We're going to have to lay people off. We're going to
Right.
cut jobs. Hey, I can't afford to run this business anymore. I'm closing it.
I read a brilliant, and I would give the guy's name. I would give the guy's credit. This guy had a great analysis. He broke it down to about like 7, 8, 9 steps about what happens when you try to do price controls with groceries. And it's just common sense. And here come the dominoes, and here's what happens. And this is like, and oh, by the way, you can say all you want about like Walmart. Walmart's one of the biggest companies in the world. Walmart is the biggest grocer in the world. Their margins end up being like 2%.
Right. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Does that sound like
The food
gouging?
business is a low margin, high volume business. So they ain't got a lot to play with. Walmart makes a lot of money because they sell a lot of stuff.
They or whenever you say any of these massive companies and you quote profits, total profits in a dollar size, that's actually irrelevant. You got to look at what is the return on, like how big is that?
Right. That's gross profit. That's not net profit.
No,
That's how
even if
many.
it's even if it's net profit on a massive $1 trillion or so, company, or give or take. No, that's not gouging at all. It's just so that no, you look at the percentage, you can, but the total dollar amount is sort of irrelevant depending on the size of the. And oh, by the way, is anybody accusing Microsoft, Google,
Right.
any of these companies of gouging? Because their margins are crazy high.
Yeah.
Now we got to circle back and get this back to crawfish production.
There you go. There you go.
That's how we should describe, bruh. I know exactly what I'm going to say. Dude, when it's this past crawfish season, everybody was crying to the high heavens about how expensive crawfish were. You think the crawfish growers wanted to be charging what they had to charge? Wait, big crawfish made a killing?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. Right? Supply was way down and cost of everything were way up, and they didn't.
Exactly. Yeah. Just because you increase sales, again, doesn't mean you increase profit.
You got to keep an eye on big crawfish, man.
Businesses don't increase their revenue by increasing prices. They increase their revenue by selling more.
All right. Thus completes the
That's your economics lesson, boy and girls.
But that's on the table. Also find it kind of cute that let's see, Trump about 4 months ago came out and said How about this? We need to stop taxing tips.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 She's
So,
claiming that.
so she's claiming that, and somebody else is pointing out, well, hang on a sec. You were the tie-breaking vote on hiring extra IRS people to specifically go after tips and people that are not reporting
Right. The gig economy.
the gig economy.
You
Uh,
tried to make uh services like Venmo send out 1099s, which is an income tax form for anything over $500. That's for the gig economy.
Yep. You know. All right, we'll get off of that. Although a couple small, I guess it's political, not so much political. You saw JD Vance's plane had to make an emergency landing this
I
past
did
week.
not.
Yeah, there's a door problem or something.
Oh Lord, Boeing.
Boeing 737. Boy, Boeing knocking it out the park these
Man,
days.
they're just doing it.
Yeah, they call it Trump Force 2. They the campaign's got him a so he's okay. But dude, they are so it yeah. No conspiracies, man. No conspiracies. That's the thing. They're not done. And the other one was now this is hard to even make fun of this, but it's just something that you hear it and you go, well, this is the world we're living in. Did you see what free services are going to be available outside the DNC convention this week?
I did not.
Planned Parenthood
Oh, nice.
is having a
Oh, I saw
mobile unit,
that. Get vasectomies.
vasectomies and abortions. That's the thing. One makes you laugh, the other makes you go, "Oh, what are you?" Right? I think it's funny. I think the
I think the
vasectomy part is
vasectomy
hysterical,
thing is just a shot at men.
but that would be hysterical. I'm like, because all the stuff I'm reading, people are saying, "Oh, please, if you find yourself all gung ho at that, please go get a vasectomy." That's okay. But yeah, can you believe how? So we're at a point now. It's like, okay, man, lines are drawn. It's like I don't. I thought it was not a joke, but I thought, oh, that's just somebody made that up.
Yeah, I did see it. I heard the appointments are through the roof. It's like, tough to get in.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw
And one more political thing, or on the
All right.
the economic front. Did you see also part of her platform is to give first time home buyers $25,000.
Would that be the home buyers that are crossing the border as we speak right now?
That's what I'm guessing. Here's the deal. So, none of my children have bought a home yet. So if I decide to buy a new one, it's gonna be in their name, and I'm gonna get me some $25,000.
Hey, I didn't think about that, Juan. But there you go. Well, all it did was it's not. Well, it's not going to. First of all, guys, it's not
No,
going to
you can't
happen.
do that. You talk about inflation.
It's It's not. It's not going to happen. You can't just magic. Even though they keep trying to, it keeps getting. They can't pay off the student loans, and they're not paying off any student loans. By the way, they don't forgive anything. They give the bill to us.
Yeah.
But even that's unconstitutional. That keeps getting held up as being unconstitutional. But that you can't. That's not going to happen. But just again, it's for financial illiterates. If that happens, that's just all it does is make the price of a house
Exactly.
go up
Goes
25,000.
back to supply and demand. The bigger the supply of the money.
Unless
the
what
more
they're
they'll
gonna they're gonna say what Zillow has to knock your price out the price of your house down, or yeah, well,
Yeah, another thing on pricing. So last week I talked about that. I had that surgery. When I came back, my air conditioner was out. They got it mostly fixed, but I had one other guy's got to come in, and had to bring an electrician in to do part of it. And this only controls the heater, so I'm not real worried about that just yet. But so he came, check it out, and he sent me a quote the next day, $2,000. I'd already spent $1,500 on it. But 500 of the $2,000, and look, I trust the guy, but the fee is an in-attic fee when the temperature is over 86 degrees.
wow.
And hey, I don't blame him.
I can see that. I've never gotten a bill like that said
But
that.
that's
But
how
I
he broke it out. So I'm gonna call him tomorrow and say, well, hey, bro, how about if I wait till it cools
let's
off?
wait for a cold front, and
Yeah.
especially if it's something you don't need. No, I get it.
Right. Yeah.
I always wonder why they didn't just, I guess for various reasons, like right now. I mean, it was a brutally hot day. I mean, and we
Tomorrow at
talked,
3 over here, the heat index would be 118.
yeah, it was about 115 here today, heat index. But right now, if I go into my attic, it's not bad. Like once the temp goes down, I mean, it's you
Yeah.
know, it's I always wonder why they just didn't do, just go nocturnal.
I don't know. I was talking to the guy last week, the HVAC guy, and he wears an Apple Watch that's got a heart rate monitor on it
No, I'll get you, man.
because he said one day he just looked down and his heart rate was like 180.
When I get into I try, on a week that I'm not traveling and stuff, I go to the gym and I'll do sauna 3 times a week. And I try to sit in there 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And that's only, the sauna's probably, I don't know, 170, and it can get that hot or better. It get in an attic. But yeah, man, your
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 heart rate's
pulse is
jumping.
blowing through, man. But yeah, so yeah, that's good. That's good. Honest. Like, yeah, you need me to
Yeah.
get, you need me to risk my life in your attic.
Yeah.
Speaking about not risking life, but man, I got a possum update. So I got 2 of them, and I say I got them. They live around. They were
Right.
living basically in my house, and when I say
You
that,
feed them.
right, but they were literally. It got to the point that we had to figure out they were literally living in my house, and when I say that, here's what
Inside?
happened. Well, not where you could see them. So I have the design of this house is a little interesting. It's not a it was this when they built this neighborhood. This was the first house. This was
Okay, so it's a model home
this was
probably?
the model home. So I got a detached garage, and it has a walkway from the garage. So it's not it's covered. So I
Yeah.
got it's detached. I got a walkway that runs to the main house. Okay, and that's where all the my electrical wires. So I've got a panel. The panel is on the back side of my garage, goes up over the garage, and then through. So all the wires from my house run through
Through
that
that walkway.
walkway into the
Through
house.
yeah.
But then the house itself is designed weird. Let's say weird. It's only weird when you get up in the attic or you try to figure out where things are, because 2-story houses, you got to have space for the air conditioning vents. So like my
Mhm.
upstairs, we've got a big game room it's 2 steps up onto to get to the game room. Like I remember when we first got it, I was like, why is the game room elevated? Well, it's elevated because
Got it from
that
space.
space that has to get the things in there. Well, what the possums figured out is they just march their butts, along the wires through the walkway, and just apparently
Chill
just
out.
set up shop in the dead space of the floor. So there's literally no way to get, you couldn't see, there's no way to access that dead space basically between the roof of my living room and the floor of my game room.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's another bathroom up there with a tub. But so no, they're not in the house, but they're in the house. Like
Yeah, they're not in your living space.
but they make noise that freak my wife out. Like you hear
Freak me out too.
walking around. So then I gotta like, oh man, I gotta figure out a way I gotta get them out. And I don't want to kill them.
Now,
So
are they I they're not just over the walkway, they're in the house.
you're in the house.
Yeah.
They go through the walkway.
Like in that space where
By the
your
way, that
AC.
blinking, if you just saw blinking lights, that's my wife turning the blender on downstairs. She loves her some non-alcohol, some pineapple stuff she's hooked on. Dude, I thought the lights were going out. I just like, what?
Same
Okay.
circuit.
So no, so the possum, so I got to figure out, okay, but there's no way for me to get them. Like, there's no way for me to get them. So what I had to do is plan on, I got to wait till they come out at night.
And trap them.
And then, no, not trap them, just shut the door. Don't let them back in. Cause I always leave my garage door is pretty much closed all the time, but the door to the garage, I always left open. It's always open. And mostly because my cat, sometimes if the weather's bad,
Yeah.
she runs in there. But so I had to set up a Ring camera to watch to see if I can get them. And, and then, so they came out So I got up at like 4 a.m, shut the door, and then I can watch the Ring camera. I mean, I felt bad for them because they keep trying to go back. Like it's 3 nights now, 4 nights, and every night they're still eating. But every night, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they come back at 6, 7. They keep trying to get in. They're like walk into the garage going, "The hell? What?
Yeah,
What?"
hey, bro, what happened to his door?
Now I said, "No, I got a kind heart. I set them up a shelter. I basically, I found a big, I got a big plastic industrial, like the back of a pickup truck kind of case,
Yeah,
pretty big,
yeah.
um, that I used to store stuff in. I cut a hole in the side of it, did stuff. So I basically I threw a blanket in there. So I basically set up a shelter on the far back corner of my yard behind the elephant leaf trees and stuff. And it's like, I
Put it by the door.
was that?
Put it by the door that they're trying to get in.
Oh no, my wife would kill me. I mean, you can't just leave. No,
So
because that
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the birthing habits of possums, but so is there? I know possums carry babies like a kangaroo.
yeah, they're apparently they are apparently very good parents. They take care of their until
But
they're
could there have babies in your house?
I'm not smelling anything yet, so I don't think so. What happens is when they're young, the mom goes out and they cling to her. She doesn't leave them. I
You're
don't
right.
think so. That's
Okay.
why that's why you see a possum walking around.
Right. They're on her
Once they
back and stuff.
once they get old enough to make out on their own, then that's what
Yeah.
that happens. So that's
Okay.
what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we, you know. So I'm looking. So
Now,
now
I thought about you the other day. It was on the local news here. Somebody sent in their, I guess, their ring cam or security camera footage. House in Baton Rouge. A guy had a possum in his backyard, and a fox came into the backyard,
oh, yeah.
and the possum was running off the fox and kept fighting to get the fox away.
Hey man, I'm Team Possum. Now my wife laughed. My wife, one of for my birthday, one of her presents, my wife got me a T-shirt with a possum on it.
I have a friend who I think has a shirt that says Team Possum.
Yeah, no, I'm so and then last night I'm looking at the footage in the morning and and then a freaking raccoon. Got a but raccoons are, I mean, so raccoons and possums get along. I mean, they might hiss at each other around a food source, but it's just it's bizarre world to me, man. I live in a neighborhood, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not, y'all. I don't live in, I don't have a camp. This is, but we got bodies of water around here,
Right, right. Well, anytime you
and
have water or trees near you,
so there you go. So
and
that's
then the
my
less and less, the fewer and fewer wooded areas you have,
so
the more and more that
possum.
will come out.
Oh, talking about animals, the other thing that just kind of caught me off, and I guess it has this a lot. The local HEB, the store, our big HEB here. I just felt bad. I was buying shrimp. I forget what this was. What day it was. It was probably about a week ago. So I went, buy my 6 pounds of shrimp, to boil shrimp for me and my wife, and they got octopus in the they got. We live in a very diverse area, and let's just put it this way, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I got an area in town I could go buy octopus as well.
and man, here's the deal, though. You
Not-
watch the documentaries and stuff, and octopus are incredibly intelligent animals. I mean, dude, I promise you, their octopus are smarter than some of the people I went to
Yeah,
elementary
dude,
school
I
with.
saw this. I forgot the documentary it was, where some dude like befriended an octopus.
I promise you, I can think back to my kindergarten, first grade years, and I promise you, those octopus could solve problems that some of those kids in school couldn't solve.
Yeah.
No doubt. But it's just something weird, man. When you just know an animal as that, it's like a dolphin. We know a dolphin's an incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
I guess dolphins are mammals, right?
It's a mammal.
Yeah, we know a dolphin's an incredibly. So if you went to a store and there was like a big old dolphin head right there, you'd be thinking, dang, that's a pretty intelligent animal. And then I thought about that looking at the octopus, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. They tell me pigs are smarter than dogs. All right. Pigs are apparently incredibly intelligent animals. Man, I love me some bacon. I, I feel bad.
Well, did you get the octopus?
I did not, dude. I didn't. I just stood there and felt bad. Like, ugh.
Now I'll eat fried calamari.
Yeah.
But I can't think about it.
I've never seen a squid open a jar. I've never seen I've never seen a squid solve a problem to get a treat. I've seen
You ever see?
octopus.
Yeah, there's the. I've seen a video. You've probably seen it. It's floated around for a long time. Where it's like a, I don't know, a commercial fishing vessel out there, and they've got a little bitty hole. Uh, and in the net is a fairly big octopus, and that octopus finds the hole,
Dude.
and somehow or another just compresses its body.
There's some amazing there are some amazing animals, and you can get some dead ones to eat right here at the HEB down the street. So what was the other thing? Oh, well, we're talking about water. I laughed watching this. It was a clip on I guess somebody, I don't know if it was on Instagram or where it was. And this lady, I don't know if she takes a lot of cruises or, that's a big people that do that. They do they do all these videos of it's Disney World or it's this or it's that.
Yeah.
And she was talking about Carnival cruise. And I've been on one cruise in my life, and it was a Carnival cruise, right? And I didn't even know when we went on it that Carnival cruise, like they call it the Walmart of cruise lines, right? Carnival's the party ship, apparently, right? Look, it's funny. I'm glad I didn't know. I actually enjoyed myself. Now, I had the right mental mindset when we went. This like 4 years ago, I guess. And I went on there just expecting I'm not going to have a good time. I just know, but when you go in with the mindset of just get through it, right? It's all all the families there, and but I ended up having actually a pretty good time. But this person was talking about some of the new crackdowns that Carnival is doing, and she said that because they no longer want to be the Walmart of cruise lines.
Trying to get up to Target standards.
Well, listen, they got three things she said that's noticed on recent cruises. Now, while it might not necessarily be a stated policy, they did stop twerking. So when the ship is pulling away or whenever you're doing the parties or whatever, the cruise directors will shut you down if you're twerking.
Let's hope none of the Olympic gold medalists,
Right.
won a Carnival cruise.
They've become more. The second thing is they've become a little more serious on fighting. They're not going to let you fight. There's a $500 fine for being caught having a fight. So
is that like a verbal bout or
don't know? I got a feeling I've seen some videos, dude. It's. Let's put it this way: any ship there's a ton of twerking going on, there's some fighting that's going to happen. So they're cutting back on that. And the other thing Carnival has gotten actually very serious about is no more marijuana.
Oh man,
they got drug dogs out there now. And even when you're getting on, when you get off a port, some of the ports, where if you come back, if you have a bag, you got to get there, and then the dogs check out your bags. And if you get caught with something, you ain't getting back on the boat. You got to pay your own. You got to find another way to get home. Wow. So Carnival's cracking down, y'all. So those of you anybody out there in the Dave and Juan audience that has that next Carnival cruise plan, don't you twerk, don't you fight, and leave the weed at home. Leave the weed at home. Do like all good Americans. Get yourself the drink package and just numb yourself.
Right. Just go to Yogi Bear State Park or something.
We had the drink package when I was on that thing, and I realized that they actually probably made money on. Believe it or not, I think they made money on me selling me the drink package because it gets to a point, dude. You just can't drink no more.
Well, this is I talked to a buddy.
Now my brother-in-law. Shout out to Eric. That guy, he got his money's worth and then some. But
see, when we were in Costa Rica, it was all inclusive, but they don't break it out. Like it's an all-inclusive resort. And a buddy of mine, he and his wife were in Cancun this week. And so I was talking to him today at church, and they offer all-inclusive add-ons at the resort, but it's $300 a day.
Gee.
And like he said, well, I don't think we're going to eat $300 a day and drink $300 a day. I said, I don't think I would either. I know I wouldn't eat.
Well, but you feel obliged to. It's like you feel obliged to waste, man. Well, that's why I went with that drink package. I got, and it gets to the point because I'm a little more now, but I was a beer and wine drinker. That's it. Yeah. That's all I drink. And they only had certain beers I like. So at some point, you're like, And the worst one, I'm like, man, we've been doing this for 3 years. I don't know if I told this one. We were at, oh God, it was awful. One of the things we went swimming with dolphins, which was, and then the place we were, they had a swim up bar. Dude, you talking what part of Mexico we were in? I mean, the people that were in the swim up bar at this
Oh,
place,
dude, I like the swim up bar, man.
you'd have looked around. Let me tell you something. And then the beer was, yeah, it was
No,
like,
because most of those, like, see, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just a beer drinker, but when I go on stuff like this, and I don't know a lot of cocktails,
let me
and
tell
I
you, they
don't
ran out of
just get
cups. They ran out of cups. And I'm like, wait a minute, we are sharing cups? Like, wait, I'm trusting you guys to go wash a cup?
so I bring my own Yeti. But I said, make me something with that blue stuff. That's what I tell 'em.
And dude, on the way out of that godforsaken dolphin swimming thing, we probably paid $80 for a disc of the pictures of us with the dolphins. Never looked at it once. Not once. It's amazing, man. They get you when you're like, yeah, vacation. This is an awesome time. Look at
Yeah,
that picture.
want to see them all.
Give me the $80 disc of all of us enjoying ourselves with that poor freaking dolphin that y'all making swim with us.
Right. Not something in the wild, just yeah, in a wild part of a cage.
Man, yeah. That's when I did learn though. Dolphins have a texture of almost like a light sandpaper. They're kind of
Yeah, really.
that that was the one thing I got out of that. I went, oh, I've never actually touched a dolphin before. You got to hold on to. I forget what it was. You did. You kind of. They would show you how to do it, and the dolphin would swim. You probably like
Hold on
hang
to
on
the
to the
fins
dolphin
or the
for.
side fins or whatever.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that I'd touch one if I was there. I guess I would, but
Yeah, you would if you paid for it.
yeah.
No, we got messed up. We were supposed to be, my wife and I and my kids were supposed to be on some kind of sunset or some kind of cruise, champagne cruise, but we couldn't because our schedule got changed because when our boat pulled out, some kid had an appendectomy or had an appendix problem the
Wow.
first night, and we turned the boat around and could not get
Oh,
to.
wow.
So they had to change the day. So we
Change
were
all the
supposed to
schedule.
be,
Yeah.
yeah. So because that kid, I hope he's alive. I hope he's great. I don't know. But that kid cost me. That was the difference between me taking a champagne cruise that I wanted and swimming with some freaking dolphins,
Rubbing your hand on sandpaper skin.
waiting for some freaking swim up Mexican bar to clean a cup so I can have a beer. But you know what? On that positive note,
Hey,
in America, I think we'd put it out there. I think the
hey,
buffet,
dude, you got politics, you got fish, you got bad cups in Mexico.
possums. Yeah, not at
It's
all,
all.
man. All right, y'all. We're going to push the button. Get on out of here. See if any of this stuff stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. If you want to reach us, we're here and we're not hard to find. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And
Wherever you see us, wherever you are right now.
if you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Apple, maybe you're checking us out on Facebook, on the YouTubes.
On that YouTube, bro.
Bruh, the iHeart. You can go find Dave and Juan on the iHeart.
Yeah, you can ask Alexa. She'll tell you where we're.
That's right. So get it. Every week we tell you, y'all, it ain't a suggestion, a hint, a subtle implication. We're not. What's Kamala's word? It's a dichotomy.
What's a dichotomy, Dave? It's a
It's a
mixture of things. Two things. It's this and it's that. So it's die. Die means two. Dichotomy means I don't know.
Cot is something you sleep on.
Yeah. I sleep on economy.
Is what you say when you don't know what to say. You go, and me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Dichotomy. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, it's a freaking
It's a mandate, bro.
mandate. Get out there, live your best life. Live your best life. Maybe you just had a great day today. Hopefully you had a fantastic day. You know what? You can make it a little better tomorrow.
Right.
You set the bar. You set the bar. Maybe today was crap. You know what?
And sometimes that's good because then you don't have to do much to beat it tomorrow.
Exactly. Tomorrow you go, you know what? I got a low bar to get over me. I got a bar I can jump with flip-flops on. That's how low that bar is. All right. So whatever the case may be, put your head
Get yourself
down.
a good one.
Put your head down or put your head up. Whatever you got to. Have yourself a great day. So until then, and there you go. Nailing the timer right now. We're going to step on out here. I want all of you guys have a fantastic week. We'll get back together next week and talk about it again. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. So we were at my dad's house today. Yeah, in a couple of months it'll be 20 years that Joey and I have been married, and dated for a few years before that. Yeah, we go to my dad's house. We sit in the living room. Everybody sits in the same spot, pretty much. It's got your spot. And today Joey says, "Is that a closet?" Like a little small closet in the living room. I said, "Yeah." And she, I've never seen that before. I said, "How could you not? It's just a square living room, 4 walls." So she said, "What's in it?" I said, I don't know. My dad threw out the cane he built in 4th grade when he was in 4-H, which was in there. So she goes digging. Yeah. So he knows it's in there. So she goes digging in there and finds some stuff. And hanging in there is what was a little shepherd's costume that my brother wore in a Christmas play in elementary school. Then beside that was this white gown looking thing, and in a Ziploc bag clipped to it was like some garland, like Christmas garland. And so we're trying to figure out what that is. And I said, "That's an angel costume my sister had, and that's her halo." Ain't got squat from me. Yeah. Open a garbage bag of toys, open a garbage bag of random costumes. Nothing from me.
Gee, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You got souvenir. You got 40 and 50-year-old souvenir, 55-year-old souvenirs from your
My
other 2
sister's
children.
almost 65, and so nothing from me.
Because Juan, they know you're creating. You're still creating memories.
Exactly. The best is yet to come.
The best is.
It's over. Go home.